So typically what we did was we started a project and we jumped right into just kind of sketching, wireframing, user flows. But typically what you want to do is before you start a project, you want to understand why you are starting a project. You want to understand basically what the problem is and why we should solution for it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to bring you through a different type of way to start a project. And that is what I call a product alignment canvas. Now that may sound a little scary or intimidating, but trust me, it isn't. It's just about asking some basic questions about why we should be doing something and also learning a bit about our assumptions around our users and other things. So let's get started. Essentially, what we want to do is we want to get everyone in the same room who is involved in the project. That could mean the product team, clients, stakeholders, users. Now, the product team probably consists of yourself, maybe other designers, developers, product managers, QA. The client usually has like maybe one person, it may be 50 people. There may be a CEO. There's so many people, but the people who really determine the success of the project should be in this meeting. Now, you could have users in this meeting. Users could be like existing or potential users, but generally they aren't, and you don't have the timeline to probably get a user in a meeting like this. So you would need to make a lot of assumptions, and we'll get to how to validate those after. Now, all these people are going to contribute to the success of the project. So much information and expertise is what they hold. Now, there's a sense of proper opinion on the subject matter that you're going to have to basically pull out of these people. So you really want to practice your facilitation skills, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be asking a lot of questions and we're going to be brainstorming. And as you can see, I kind of have this template here. And what I've done is there's a plugin right here called Product Planner. Now let's wait for that to open. But what Product Planner does is it gives us a bunch of different templates on different things. Like we have a brainstorming template, basically product and planning, or like management and planning templates. So here are a couple. There's assumption grids, there's roadmaps, Kanban boards. If you're familiar with Agile, we have a Gantt chart, retrospective documents. So there's a bunch of different things that you can use. We even have a persona template. So I've just kind of taken them from here. What I would do is, because they're all in like vector format, you can't really, change the copy here, as you can see. I would take these templates and make them your own, so that way you can reuse them over time. So let's jump right in. Now there's several different parts of a product alignment canvas. The goal is to explore, understand, and to move forward. What we want to do is we want to get to the bottom of the requirements and what we need to do for our project. Now we need to understand what success will look like in all different aspects, whether that's the business aspect, whether that's based off of users. And that's why we're coming together to brainstorm here. Now, at the beginning of any project, you generally know very little. Who are the users? Why do they want this? What are we solving for? And you generally don't have much time to get up and running. We often need to literally hit the ground running. So what we're going to need is you can either use Figma. I've done this remotely. Either do this in person, which is probably best. But generally, you would need a whiteboard. You would need the most important people in the room, some Post-it notes, markers. It would be great to have a note taker there to help you. And one thing that's incredibly important is to have somewhere where you can jot down all your risky assumptions. So this little resource that I pulled from that plugin is really great. Generally, I'll just list them and then we can rank them after we're done the canvas. But this actually plots them on some sort of graph here where we can delegate if they're risky, how much of an assumption they are. High and low risk are on the vertical axes, and then on horizontal axes, we have the uncertain and certain. So how much of an assumption this is. So this could be anywhere like, we don't know what the architecture of the app is going to be. We have a good understanding, but this is high risk and we need to figure this out ASAP. So that would be placed there. Or we don't know who our users are, but we're going to make a bunch of assumptions about them. That's a very high risk card and you would feel pretty uncertain. So that's something you would prioritize first. And what we do next is we focus on the project goals, target users, and a user journey. In our next video, we're going to be talking about project goals.